Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the next part of Eureka. This is the third out of the four little journeys we're going to take, and we are going to enter Pyros now. So, if you remember, Animos was the windswept area, Pagos was more of the cold, icy landscape. Here, we're going on to Pyros, which is more half molten lava, half icy, frozen wasteland. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I think that they're trying to kill us here. With how dangerous everything is. Right, so first things first, come here and attune to the Ethernet shard. Okay, so that's one down, and yeah, we know how this works by now. So we have three, it looks like, in this area. Well, that's going to be fun to look at. And here's Krile. Let's see what she has to say. Always a pleasure, Claire. I'm sure you're eager to get to it, but before we begin, I want to make sure you remember where we left off. To review, we've established a base camp here so we can make use of the proto-Ethernet nearby. This Ethernet was constructed several thousand years ago and is a precursor to the design we use today. As such, we use it primarily for monitoring ethereal fluctuations and rarely for teleportation. Per Ejika's suggestion, we decided to study this proto-Ethernet that we might gain greater insight into the many mysteries surrounding the Isle of Val and its current state. If in doing so we can further stabilize the regional Ethernets, then all the better. Our primary objective, as ever, remains the same: find a way to reach the headquarters of the students of Baldessian at the Isle's center, and there seek out and aid any survivors. And that about covers it. Did you see Ejika on your way in, by the way? You should have arrived by now. Yep, here he is. Speak of the devil, Ejika, surely you saw us standing over here. Don't be a stranger, come and speak with us. Oh, you two. Forgive me, I was lost in thought. Okay. I've never known you to be that oblivious to your surroundings. What troubles you, Ejika? Well, this place and, it is of no moment. Would that I had new information to share, but alas, I do not. Sure you don't. I can but hope I can be of greater use to you in the future. Best of luck to you both in your many endeavors. Gods, he's a terrible liar. Nevertheless, I know better than to pester him for answers when he's behaving like that. It's the same as when he's wrestling for his research. He'll talk when he's good and ready, which will hopefully be sooner than later. Or maybe he'll be more forthcoming if and when you run into him in the wilds like before. Maybe try asking him then. But enough about Ejika. You should see the Proto-Ether for yourself. It's not far from here, if you'll come with me. So we follow after Krile now. If I knew where. Logos manipulator. Strange device does not appear to be operational. This place looks a lot more, I don't know, stabilized than the last two places. Yeah. I don't know, the other two places kind of looked like they were just hobbled together out of desperation. Here, it actually looks like they took time to really build something stable. So I'm guessing that she's down here. Yep. Ah. So that's interesting. Kind of like that design. We got a whole little working lab here set up. But yeah, I kind of like that crystal. No, I can't jump up there. That's pretty. We call this place the living foundry. It's beating hearts, the proto-etherite. Although we rarely used it for teleportation before, we believe it could easily be integrated into the regional Ethernet, further stabilizing it and improving our chances of safely reaching our headquarters. Of course, we'll need to run more than a few preliminary tests before we can say for certain that it's feasible and what's not. I'll let you know as soon as I have results to share. You needn't wait around here twiddling your thumbs, though. Geralt was looking for you. Said he had a proposition or two to discuss. You'll find him back at the base camp. Oh, great. What's he want to tell us now? Hopefully it's going to be about us being able to improve our weapons, which is probably the case. Okay, I tried to sign up for a Notorious Monster Fate, but it turns out that I can't leave the base camp without talking to Geralt. So, yeah, let's just hurry and get this over with. There she is. Krile sent you my way, did she? Good, good. Let's get down to business then. First off, when I was racking my brain to come up with another half-dozen ways to free myself from my financial burdens, I stumbled upon a method by which we might improve that Magia board of yours. Augment it, that is to say. Uh-huh. Sounds suspicious. So, you can only affix up to 5 magicite to it, eh? Well, what if I told you there was a way we might add a 6 to the mix? Oh, he's cute. I thought you might perk up at the sound of that. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up too much. There's still a limit on how much you can strengthen your affinity with given elements, for one, and you'll need a special materials to get the job done. If you're still keen, that engineer over yonder can walk you right through the process. And I'm starting to sound very southern right now. Second surprise I got for you is outside. We call it the Logos and Manipulator. Drake's the one who can tell you all about it. Third and last topic of discussion is near and dear to my hearts, namely that old bottomless depths. Oh, har har, very funny, very amusing. Walking off before I get to the good part. You know damn well it's coming. Yeah, want stronger weapons or not? Well, why not just say that? Aye, that's what I bloody thought. Just for that, go and talk to Drake first. Then we'll have a chat about you and your god-killing trinkets. Bah. Ooh, someone's in a bad mood today. Okay, let's go talk to Drake. And yeah, looks like I'm gonna miss that notorious monster. Greetings, madam. You are come at the behest of Master Geralt, I presume? Yes, we are. Wonderful, wonderful. Pray allow me to explain the operation of the Logos manipulator to you then. I am sure that in your extensive travels you have come across all manner of crystals, including those which are host to wisdom and memories of others. Soul crystals, for instance. These echoes of experience, or mimes, as we've taken to calling them, have been discovered in a wide variety of crystals we've collected in Pyros. After studying these logos for a time, we devised a means to extract the mimes within and transubstantiate them into an alchemical substance which we can confer incredible abilities upon an individual. These abilities need not be within the means of the user, be they formidable weapon skills or magics, though the power of the mimes contained within the logosgrams born of this otherworldly place, the impossible is possible. I have every reason to believe that these abilities will prove invaluable in your exploration of Pyros and beyond. Though, having said that out loud, I would be surprised if you weren't the least bit skeptical. Perhaps a demonstration is in order. Take this logosgram to the manipulator and see for yourself how it works. It's quite easy to use, rest assured. Okay. This strange and mysterious device appears to be the Logos manipulator, of which Drake spoke. Hopefully, it is as simple and easy to use as he claims. Okay, so it's unlocked. You've gained access to the Logos manipulator. The device utilizes the mains housed within Logosgrams to grant players Logos actions. Up to 3 Logos actions can be held at any time. When enabled, they will be registered as duty actions to be used while adventuring in Eureka. Logos manipulator, yeah, I don't really care. Okay, so paralyze. So we learned paralyze, which is like a stun action. So, okay. That's cool. So it looks like that we'll be able to use these extra abilities. Simple, is it not? Like I said, the manipulator can be used to quickly and easily extract the means within your logosgrams and transubstantiate them into meandred alchemical substances which will empower you in ways beyond imagination. However, as the precise nature of logosgrams is not readily discerned by the layman, any which you discover in the wilds you will first need to bring to me for appraisal. Once I have identified the nature of the means contained within a given logosgram, you may use it within the manipulator. Furthermore, while you may process logosgrams one at a time, you might find it advantage to extract and transubstantiate means from multiple logosgrams at once. Certain combinations may produce more potent substances. During the exploration of the Forbidden Land of Eureka Pyros and subquiescent regions, you may attain the logosgrams. Okay, so they can be appraised by Drake, who will identify the precise nature of the means that contained within. Once the logosgram's been appraised, I don't care. Well, I do care. I just have very, very little patience in reading stuff like this. I find it boring. I prefer to just jump in and just hope that it doesn't all go wrong right away. Oh, hello, Krile. Ah, there you are. Drake has briefed you on the Logos manipulator, I take it? I have, Mistress Krile. She should have no difficulties using it. Glad to hear it. I finished my test of the proto-etherite. Perhaps we could discuss the results over yonder? Oh, before I forget, the Logos manipulator is key to Master Geralt's plans for future augmenting your Eureka weapon. When you have a moment to spare, I can tell you more. Okay, so let's go talk to Geralt. See what he has to say. You okay? I've been thinking, lass, about the weight of a memory, its value, its worth. Where are you going with this? Or what's that look for? I ain't talking about my memories. Seven hells, you're just as bad as Drake. No, you daft bugger. I've been thinking long and hard about them what's-its. You know, the memenes, and how I might harness their powers to forge you a finer weapon and pay off my debt while I'm at it. Shrug all you like, but it's the next logical step. Till now, I've used all manner of tangible materials to get the job done. Strange, otherworldly stuff no one in their right mind would shove in their forge. Well, that's true. Time's come to look elsewhere for means to further enhance your weapon, I reckon. To look at the realm of the intangible, the metaphysical, the realm of the memes. Yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all. Still not following, I see. You know all about materia, aye? How it's born from arms and armor that soaked up the spiritual essence and whatnots of the wielder. Think of it as like that, spin reverse, taking the means out of the Logos gram and infusing a weapon with them, or something to that effect. Boy's got impeccable timing. Come over, Drake. I was just telling our friend about our latest project. Ah, good madam. I gather Master Geralt was explaining to you his theory of memes and how they might be used to strengthen your weapon? Well, he's tried to. I don't really understand it. As you know, Drake's been tending to the Logos manipulator outside. That lovely little contraption of ours which lets us extract and transubstantiate memes from logosgrams found here and there and everywhere. Bloody complicated and messy process, as you might have noticed by now. Half the time it seems like there's no rhyme or reason as to what alchemical compounds it produces. Bet we might just be able to use what randomness to our advantage. Am I right, Drake? Just so, Master Geralt, for we have developed a method by which we might utilize data gathered from your experiments with the Logos manipulator and its conjunction with a new set of tools and additional materials, further enhance your weapon. The best part is that you don't have to do anything other than what you've been doing otherwise. Collect grams, play with the manipulator, and so on. Indeed, you need only carry on as before. I shall record the results of your efforts with the manipulator and use them to further our research. Should we achieve any breakthroughs, I shall apprise you of them at once. And that's all we've got to say for now. The rest is up to you. Well, they seem ready to go. Upon occurring a Logos action for the first time. Yeah. So, trace Logosogram actions. Speak with Drake when we have enough. And okay. Let's just go on. I want to explore this place. I'm really hoping it's going to be better than Pagos was. You got anything to say, buddy? Augment your Magia board. I should be happy to assist your Magia board should you have the requisite materials in your possession. Do you? It seems that you do not. 1,000 pardons, but since I have no stock myself, I cannot assist you at this time. In order to augment your Magia board, you must possess a pair of Lambrax dice, a piece of yin-yang tissue, and Skull's Claw. Oh boy, so we got to find these strange materials everywhere again. Well, we'll worry about that later. First things first, let's go find Krile. Let's see if she has to say, and so hopefully once we talk to her we can go out into the big wide world. As for the results of my tests, well, while I've yet to grasp the whole picture, my general understanding of the ethereal instability we've been dealing with is much improved. Curiously, this is not as recent a development as I believed. In fact, according to records I found in the foundry, a massive and sustained increase in ethereal density in the vicinity of our headquarters was first recorded almost 20 years ago. Do you think this was Golof's doing? You don't think this was a natural increase, do you? Yeah, you don't think this is Golof's doing, do you? It's certainly possible. Whatever he intended to accomplish by reversing the flow could have entailed the manipulation of ethereal currents that they might converge upon our headquarters. To what end is perhaps the more important question. especially since my initial survey suggests that a deliform entity is located somewhere beneath the headquarters of the students of Baldician. To make matters worse, it seems this entity is growing in strength, perhaps by feeding off the ether being funneled towards the center of the isle. I doubt this was Grandfather's and the others' intention at the time, of course. Rather, given what you saw in your visions, it is far more likely that they were attempting to imprison a primal being. Unfortunately, if these results are any indication, whatever measures they took to do so are failing, and this entity may soon break free. Perhaps it was in response to this mounting danger that someone erected a barrier around our headquarters, a final desperate measure to contain the terrible threat. Only time and further study will tell. Anyway, to my mind, we still have two primary objectives at present. First, we use every method at our disposal to ascertain the nature of the primal and the methods Grandfather and the others employed to hold it in check. Second, and as before, we continue to work towards restoring the regional Ethernet to full functionality in order to gain access to headquarters and search for survivors. At first I thought that Grandfather might need our help, but perhaps it is us who need his, especially if we're dealing with primals or Asians or God knows what else. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, we have more simple concerns. I've located another confluence of ether not far from here, suggesting the presence of magicite. It's somewhere in the northeastern ice needles. I'd like you to go and investigate, if that's all right. Well, I got nothing better to do. Thank you. I'll spare you the warnings about the untold dangers lurking about there, given that this is hardly your first time here in Eureka. Good luck. Okay, so looks like that's all done, and we're finally allowed to head out into the big world of Pyros. So I don't know where the confluence is, and so I will be back in just a moment after I found it, okay? Hello everybody, I'm back. After asking around for a little bit, I did find the location eventually. And it's right around this corner here. You can just barely see it. The confluence of ether. Okay, at the center of the confluence of ether, you'll find a shimmering stone, magicite. As you kneel to retrieve it, the confluence dissipates. Okay, so we have the little location. First things first, want to thank these ladies for helping me get this far. Yeah, thanks a lot, girls. You're amazing. Okay, so if you all need the exact coordinates for the first magicite stone, it's going to be at 2727, and it's right here on the map. But I am going to be heading back right now because I don't want to risk being attacked anymore. It was not easy getting this far. Now, they did say that once you level up more, then it's going to be a lot easier because the monsters aren't going to be able to attack you nearly as much. So I'm really looking forward to leveling up. So we just have to go back to base camp, hand it to Krile, and see what she has to say. So here we are. Okay, Krile, we're back. And we got you a present. I hope you like it. You found it, I presume? The confluence vanished while you were away, so I call it a hunch. Since your magia board can hold no more magicite, I hope you allow me to hold on to this piece for the time being. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Much appreciated. There are other confluences elsewhere in Pyros, so I expect I'll be asking you to do this again as soon as we pinpointed their locations. May continue the Eureka expedition upon reaching elemental level 38. Okay, so it's going to be a little while for me, but I will be back for all of you in just a few seconds, okay? Okay, we're back, and something happened to me. I think during that last Notorious Monster that I did, yeah, I'm just somehow stuck like this. I can't seem to get rid of it, but it looks really cool, so I'm going to stick around with it. Okay, so let's see what Krile has to say now. Oh, I was just thinking of sending someone to find you. I have tidings. Believe it or not, the magicite you found was key to confirming beyond a shadow of a doubt what I have long suspected, that the Isle of Val came to the Glass Ocean by way of a powerful teleportation magic. In other words, the theories we had about the Asians or whoever else unleashing a destructive magics akin to Ultima were completely mistaken. Which isn't to say that this teleportation magics wasn't exceedingly destructive and disruptive in its own right. An island does not up and vanish and reappear on the other side of the world without significant repercussions. All the strange phenomena we've observed until now, the twisted ethereal currents, the warped elemental energies and erratic weather, magicites and logosgrams and monsters, all of it stems from this teleportation. All of this could have been anticipated, at least to a degree, which prompts me to wonder why someone would nevertheless decide to utilize such a powerful magic. The answer to that question, however, continues to elude me. No point dwelling on it, we have another confluence to investigate, or will, as soon as I finish analyzing this data. There is another matter you might attend to before then, though. It contains the Logos manipulator and certain improvements that should make your life a lot easier. Drake can tell you more. Oh, we gotta go talk to Drake again. Just when we were starting to get the hang of using the Logos manipulator. Well, meet, madam. Mistress Krile sent you to speak with me, did she not? I will get right to the point then. In actuality, the Logos manipulator is designed to incorporate two arrays, not just one. If we were to integrate a second, its capability would be, in essence, doubled, allowing for more complex transubstantiation. However, we lacked the necessary components when we first built it, which is why it only has the one array. It would be a shame not to take full advantages of the capabilities, though, which is why I bade Mistress Krile send you to me. You see, what I require may be at the Surgate townhouse to the southeast. I've written a detailed description of the components I seek. If you would spare the time to journey there and search the ruins for anything resembling it, I promise it will be worth your while. Okay, so let's go see what they have to say. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so we have this promising scrap metal. And let me tell you, it was not easy getting here. Searching through the metal scrap, you uncover several components matching the description provided by Drake. Whether or not they are still usable, however, remains to be seen. Okay, so we have the materials that we need, and it's right here on the map. The coordinates for it is 1830. So remember that, everyone. 1830 is where the next pieces are. So we're going to teleport back. We're going to see what he's going to give us in exchange for it. Hopefully it's going to be something cool. I really do hope it's going to be something cool because it was not easy getting this far, let me tell you. It was not fun in the least. Okay, Drake, here we are. Here are your pieces. I hope you like them. A pleasure to see you again. Could it be that you brought me the components I seek? Why, yes. How did you know? What luck! They seem to be in good working order. If you'll give me a moment. There, I've completed the modifications. The Logos manipulator now has two arrays with which you may use to transubstantiate alchemical substances which will confer upon you multiple abilities. I should warn you that the process is not foolproof though. With every logosgram added to the mix, beyond the first three, there is an increased chance of failure. But with great risk comes great rewards, as they say. Feel free to test this new functionality at your leisure. Hey, an umbral array has been added to the Logos manipulator, doubling its capability. By utilizing both the astral and umbral arrays during transubstantiation, you may be required two Logos actions that can be registered simultaneously. Mixed. A maximum of 6 logosgrams, 3 in each array, may be processed in this manner. However, be advised, the attempts to transmute memes have 4 logosgram. Yeah, okay. Let's move on from this. And in all honesty, I'm not too interested in it. I really don't like using the logos system, to be honest. I find it kind of tedious. By the way, Mistress Krile was asking after you not long ago. I gather she has something important to share with you. I'm just gonna go and speak with Krile, see what she has to say. You finished helping Drake improve the Logos manipulator? Well done. It ought to prove more useful than ever. Now then, as you've probably guessed, I finally located the next piece of magicite. I'd like you to go and collect it. This one you'll find in the caves to the northeast, near a place called the Firing Chamber. Getting there won't be easy, I'm afraid. Be careful. Okay, so here we are. I just passed the Ethernet shard here in the Firing Chamber. I don't have enough levels to unlock it, but I do have the confluence, so that is an accomplishment if you ask me. Ooh, and we have a cutscene. Oh, look who it is. Fancy meeting you here, adventurer. I trust your exploration is proceeding without incident, as is Krile's work with the proto-etherite. Yeah, I don't know what to think of this guy now. Fascinating. I did not expect her to make such progress. This reversing of the flow intrigues me as well. Forgive my mutterings. I should thank you for sharing your discoveries with me. I feel as though I am on the verge of an empathy. Ever so helpful, aren't you? So eager to please, to set the wrongs to rights, as befits a hero and liberator. I really do owe it to you to return the favor, to help with your magicite collection efforts. Besides, I've no need of the stuff any longer. Ah, how forgetful of me. There was one bit of information I neglected to share with you earlier. The name of the deliformed entity, the Elder Primal that Goluf and the others sought to imprison in this place. They called it Eureka. The self-same name we bestowed upon this isle, an amusing coincidence, is it not? And yet, in retrospect, so very appropriate. Anyway, I'm afraid that's all I have to share for now, but if the fates conspire to reveal to me any other pearls of wisdom, rest assured you will be the very first to know. The center of the confluence of ether, you find a shimmering stone, magicite. Upon its removal, the confluence dissipates. Okay, I honestly have no idea what to think about Ejika anymore. I really don't. I mean, after seeing the end of Pagos, where he was speaking with that robed guy, it can't bode well. That's all I have to say. I'm not sure I can really trust this guy. In fact, I really don't think I can trust this guy. It's always a relief to see you return safe and sound. Did you find the magicite near the firing chamber? Yes, we did, and we found something else there that you may not like. But of course, though I take it there is something else you wish to share? Yeah, what Ejika told us. So according to Ejika, the deliformed entity is also named Eureka. Is it? I am reminded of a conversation I once overheard, back before I left the Isle of Vow. Raha, one of my colleagues, was discussing a theory he had concerning the Crystal Tower with Grandfather and the other founders. As you may recall, Eureka was the name of an underground labyrinth said to contain the most powerful weapons of the Alagan Empire. At least that's how the legend goes, and Raha thought it might be beneath the Crystal Tower. I remember thinking at the time it was odd how the founders suddenly grew quiet and stone-faced, how Grandfather simply said no and ushered the others away, leaving Raha to wonder if he had somehow given offense. And then I had to go and pick the same silly name when prompted by Rowena. Oh, don't read too much into that. Seriously. Anyway, I can only presume that the founders' behavior that day was because, for them, the word Eureka had an entirely different meaning. Even though Raha was clearly talking about the labyrinth, their secret knowledge of the primal clearly weighed heavily upon their consciousness. You've given me much to think about, Claire. Okay, you may continue the Eurekan expedition upon reaching elemental level 40. Okay, so I will be back in a couple levels, and hopefully by then these stupid symbols will be gone. Okay, we're back. And we're moving on to the next part of the quest. We're going to talk to Krile again. I know this is sudden, but I have to ask. You didn't stumble across a piece of magicite recently, did you? No. I was afraid you might say no. You see, I've been tracking a number of confluences, but before I can pinpoint their exact location, each vanished without a trace, which isn't necessarily a bad thing given the ethereal currents have become more stable as a result, but I cannot believe this is a natural occurrence. Magicite doesn't simply vanish on its own, which leads me to believe someone is collecting it. If not you, then that leaves Ejika? But even if he's trying to help, he could at least let us know, and if he's not doing it for us, then that leads me to wonder why. Until we meet again, though, we can only carry on with our original plans. Though one confluence I've located in West Flame Rock that has yet to dissipate. If you would be so kind as to hasten to it and retrieve it, I would be most grateful. Okay, so this is the location right up here. I've never been that far before, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, so I made it up pretty far so far, but I am not a high enough level that I can sneak past everything and not worry about being attacked. Okay, so it's not too far from here. So far everything's looking away, so that's gonna work for us. This is so tense. And I'm a little surprised. I don't think I remember seeing this place so empty before. At least this section of Pyros. Oh great, a dragon. And the confluence just happens to be nearby it. Oh great. Wait, I think I see it up ahead. Right, that's right. Come on, could I be getting lucky here? Just pure dumb luck. That no thing is even looking at me? I guess so. Okay, at the center of the confluence of ether, you find the shimmering stone of magicite. As you lean to retrieve it, it dissipates. Right. So the location is 1711. Just in case you needed to know. And I am astonished that I didn't get attacked once on my way to get it. That's like a first for me. Normally I just skip over all that stuff about me being attacked and running away and dying. But hey, I'm not complaining. Oh, come on! I was just up there! Okay, hold on. Okay, now that that's over, here we go, Krile. Welcome back. I take it you have the magicite for me? Yes, I do. And Ejika was nowhere to be found, was he? Not that I expected us to get that lucky again. As for me and my research, I think I'm getting closer and closer to understanding Grandfather's intent in reversing the flow. You'll forgive me if I refrain from diverging my theories until I am more confident, though. I wouldn't want to look like a fool. And continue. Oh, come on. 45. They are teasing us. Right, so we are back, and this is going to be the second to the last quest that we are going to be doing here in Pyros, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. Apparently, it's supposed to be really good this time. And we start things off with a cutscene. That is always good. It's so simple, Claire. How could I have not seen it earlier? You need to elaborate. It's a massive ward, one which encompassed the whole of the Isle. By diverging the ethereal currents as they did, Grandfather and the others transformed the Isle of Val into an arcane ward. But that was only the beginning, for what Grandfather later realized was that by inverting the pattern and reversing the ethereal flow, the primal could be slowly drained of ether, eventually killing it once and for all. Oh, how to explain? It's like your Magia board. Yes, imagine the entire Isle of Val is one giant Magia board. Well, not exactly, of course, but close enough. Every confluence marks a blockade in the ethereal flow, reducing the effectiveness of the board. But with every blockade removed, the effectiveness increases, and the ward holding the primal in place grows stronger. On second thought, that's not at all similar to the Magia board, but never mind that. The important thing is that removing the blockades is key to strengthening the ward, and to that end we've made great strides. But as it was with Pagos and Animos before, we cannot simply clear the smaller blockades and call it a day. To completely restore the flow within the given region, we need to, in essence, align certain key points. Were I to return to my rather poor metaphor of a Magia board, these would be analogous to pieces of magicite, perhaps. Naturally, given the scale of the ward in question, these would need to be far larger than the pieces in our possession. For a region the size of Pyros, we would need at least four what? Etherites? Giant spinning crystal thingies? Etherites, come on, Claire, we know the name of them. Etherites. By the 12, for whatever inexplicable reason, I simply cannot help but miss the most obvious solution. I wonder if this is why the founders were so devoted to the study of etherite technologies. All the while they were constructing an ethernet that served a second secret purpose. I'm glad you're here to show me the light, Claire. Okay, I don't like the sound of that. Gods, for a moment I thought that was an earthquake. I sent a disturbance in the ether, but this doesn't make any... Oh no, we have to go to the proto-etherite right now. No, 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 this is all wrong. It was working perfectly fine before. How could this have happened? How indeed. Oh no. Ejika, what have you done? I have removed a rather vexing implement from the equation. The proto-etherite was integral to the ward. You knew, and yet you... Help me to understand, Ejika. As if either of you ever could. No, I think I'll let him do the talking. Oh, great.
Breaker of chains, thou hast kept in the faith. The covenant is forged, bearer just and true, hand worthy to wield the blade.
Well, he's gone. And what a magnificent blade it is, pure ether by my reckoning, perhaps the finest blade ever forged, all that I wanted and more. Such strength is now mine to command, to use as I see fit. Is this the power that sets your hearts racing, O brave and beloved adventurer, when you hold your enemy's life in your hands? This isn't you, Ejika. Don't you see the primal is clouding your mind? Oh, dearest Krile, you could not be more wrong. I see it all so clearly now. With open eyes have I welcomed this power into my being, welcomed the glory of Eureka into my heart.
In light she walketh, and in light she abideth, as did the one before who tried and failed to lay us low, but now we have a champion.
Oh, Ejika, don't do this. Don't let it make you its thrall. I am, and ever will be, my own master, Krile. I will wait for you within the tower, as its prison, but be warned, I will not wait forever. Ejika! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Even after reinforcing the frame, it's not enough to stabilize the internal components. At this rate, we'll never get it up and running again. If we were in the Charlene motherland, perhaps I have all the necessary equipment at my disposal. It's on the other side of the world. Not only did Ejika destabilize the regional Ethernet, I fear he may have shattered the ward grandfather and the others put in place. If so, then there is nothing stopping Eureka from feeding upon the ethereal currents. Eventually it'll be strong enough to shatter the barrier encompassing our headquarters, and once that happens, it's all over. He's succumbed to the primal influence, hasn't he? I don't want to believe it, but after everything he said and did... Just how did we come to this? Just when it felt like we were so close to setting things right. Oh, if there was ever a time I wish Grandfather were here to offer his advice. Gods, I can barely keep my eyes open if I have to spend another night slaving away for the sake of ethological experiments. For someone so exhausted, you clearly have enough energy to whine. As if it's not taking its toll on you too. I can see it in your face and hear it in your increasingly curt instructions. What you call curt, I call efficient. If you're so concerned about whiling away the hours, you could spare the idle chit-chat and leave me to my work. Not all of us can coast in reputation and God's given blessings. Oh, Ejika, I'm not looking for another fight. I'm here to help. You can help by being anywhere but here. I have matters well in hand and do not require your assistance whatsoever. Oh, you mean now that you've solved those thorny problems which drove you to come to me in the first place? Why am I not surprised that, once again, you're pushing me away the moment you no longer have need of me? Oh, I knew this was going to happen. Did you now? Then why did you come here? By the 12, Ejika, I don't hate you. I've never hated you. You're exhausting and annoying and rude and a bloody pain to work with. But you're also driven and clever, and God's help me, I actually enjoy your company. And I think your research has merit, and I want to see you succeed. Is that really so hard to believe? If you're going to stay, then you should at least make yourself useful. Oh, Krile, Ejika, you two truly do make a wonderful pair. We do not. Aw, so cute. Yeah, they do make a cute couple, don't they? Judging from that vacant stare of yours, I can only assume that you were walking in my memories. Yeah, kinda. Sorry. He has always been like that, I suppose, ever eager to take on the most challenging work, ever unwilling to admit he needs help unless pressed, and then quick to dismiss it after the fact. To someone like me, someone who's accustomed to navigating social circles and being mindful of what people think, his complete and utter disregard for the opinion of others was quite frankly admirable. In a way, I envied him. I shouldn't be thinking about him like this, like he's forever lost to us. We must carry on and do what we must be done when the time comes. I'm going to need time to reevaluate our situation and determine the best course of action. You may continue. Oh, come on reaching level 50. Okay, so I'll be back again in just a moment. And here we are at the final quest for Pyros. Let's hope it was as good as the last one. Let's take stock of what we know. An identiform entity named Eureka was imprisoned within the central tower of the headquarters of the students of Baldesion by means of a complex arcane ward spanning the entirety of the Isle of Val. Said ward was then modified by Grandfather and the other founders to slowly drain Eureka of its considerable ether, eventually killing it once and for all. However, with the proto-etherite no longer operational, the ward has been broken, perhaps permanently. Without the ward to bind or drain it of ether, Eureka can feed on the ethereal currents to regain its strength and eventually break free of the barrier surrounding our headquarters. Assuming Eureka dates back to the time of Alug, defeating it in the traditional manner would ensure it never returned, as those who summoned it forth are long dead. Yet Grandfather and the others instead elected to imprison it here on the Isle. The question is, why? If, for some reason, slaying it is not an option, then we would need to restore the original ward. Alas, without the proto-etherite, I cannot see a means to do so. Simply put, we have no good options. That said, we cannot simply throw our hands up and do nothing, can we? I should like to think we are of one mind in that respect. So, in part of the spirit of trying something, anything, regardless of how ineffectual it may prove, I would like you to first help me with the loose end. I've detected another confluence in East Flame Rock, the last piece of magicite still clogging the ethereal arteries of Pyros, I suspect. I'd like you to go and collect it for me, please. Okay, so the last piece of etherite is right up there in the corner. and I will see if I can make it there without getting killed. Okay, that was not easy getting that far. At the center of the confluence of ether, you find a shimmering stone. Magicite, yeah, we've read it before. Oh boy, getting up here was a nightmare. I must have died like 4 or 5 times just trying to make it here. Oh, I'm so glad this is over. So let's go talk with Krile again. See what else she has for us to do. Hey, Krile. Please tell me that was all you needed. Good, you've returned. I hope your trip was uneventful? Oh, I wish. And with that, we have the fine magicite of Pyros. Thank you so much for this and everything else you have done for me. I've been thinking, Claire, if the ward is the best means by which we might contain and defeat Eureka, then we must restore it, and we must do so without the proto-aetherite we cannot repair. And so I propose to you, what if we were to instead construct a new focal point to replace the void left by the proto-aetherite? Can you do that? I'm quite serious. If we were to utilize the magicite we have collected thus far, I believe we can construct a facsimile to serve in the aetherite's place. I won't lie, doing this will take significant time and resources, materials and manpower, that we lack at present. Even so, I think this is our best option. To achieve this, we'll also need to redirect the ethereal streams to fuel the process, to immerse the magicite in a torrential flood of ether, namely, the endless font rising from Pagos. Whether or not this is even possible is another question altogether. Therefore, I'd like you to perform a simple test for me. The magicite I've given you has been specifically treated to the facilities of the absorption of ether. I want you to take it to the cavern of the second chance, which is directly above the Philomores of Pagos. Hold it above the ethereal font and observe how it reacts. Then return to me and report your findings. Thank you. Okay, so what they're looking for is actually closer to the south of here. I'm going to see if I can try to find it, okay? Be back in just a second. Okay, so here we are. We just made it down to the southern reaches of this place, the southern western part of this place, and I am now just trying to avoid getting attacked again. It has not been fun. Pyros is not a fun place to be, but here we are. The very last part. Are we getting a cutscene? Ah, pretty. The endless font of ether rising from Pagos far below continues into the skies high above. In mere moments, the treated magicite grows bright and warm as it reacts to the torrential stream of ether, as Krile hoped it would. Great. So the location here is 1437 on the map. And basically you just have to come down to the very last part of it. And the very tip of the southwestern part of Pyros. But it's over now. Let's go talk to Krile one more time. Let's see if this finishes up nicely. Please tell me you come bearing good news. What a relief! Then the method I envisioned for constructing an aetherite's facsimile to restore the ward should be viable. And with that, I believe we have once again come to the end of our time together. As I mentioned before, this process will require significant time and resources which we lack at present, so there's nothing else you can do to contribute to the expedition for now. I should say, though, that with the next stage of our expedition may well be our last. If we can't gain access to our headquarters soon, then we may be too late to stop Eureka. And then... I'll refrain from grim predictions and the like, especially when I should like to think it will not come to that. We're coming for you, Ejika. Okay, it is over. What a relief. You've reached the conclusion of the chapter of Eureka Expedition. The expedition will continue in a future update. Yay! You can now ride mounts in Pyros, finally! Oh, it is just always such a nice thing. Okay, so that's going to be it for now. I hope you find this little guide to Pyros useful. And I will be joining you for the last stage in just a few days, okay? So until then, try not to die.